The heat is here. Summer is upon us. The heat brings the hotness, Nick.
That's true.
The hotness brings the board games.
That's true.
The hotness brings the BGG, and this is the best of BGG.
Yep.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
We are the Brothers Murph, and yes, it's time to talk about all things geek here.
That's right.
With the best of Board Game Geek.
That's right. We're going to go over a little bit of news. We're going to talk about the hottest games that people were talking about all month. A little bit of Murph Picks, our favorite game of the month. Let's go ahead and get into it.
It is time. The Golden Geek awards have been selected, the winners and things. So that's really cool. You can check out a post with all of the winners, who was nominated in each category. There are several categories every year. I'm gonna go through just a couple of them right here. For example, two-player game, you had Toy Battle, Tag Team, and Star Trek Captain's Chair as your nominees. Toy Battle won. The Old King's Crown won Artwork and Presentation. Lord of the Rings: The Fate of the Fellowship won for Best Cooperative Game. Seti Space Agency's got the Best Expansion, which I agree with that. It is very fantastic. Innovative Game went to Vantage, and there are so many more cool categories, including Board Game Podcasts, Board Game Apps, your Best Light Game, Medium Game, Heavy Game. Check out the post in the description of this video with all of the winners. Congrats to everyone who won a Golden Geek and was a runner-up, and that's a big shout out to all of you, the users of Board Game Geek, because you are the ones who vote on and decide these winners.
Bit of Board Game Geek news is we have a store update. We have some brand new promos, but also in that store update, there was a further announcement of the Kickstarter for the BGG Artist Series. Now, the Kickstarter at the time of recording this has ended, but you might be able to get them afterwards, and you'll also be able to buy them later as well. But I love the Artist Series. This is a series where they have board game artists. BGG pays these board game artists to pick a game of their choosing and basically create kind of like a travel brochure slash alternate cover slash just really cool piece of art based on that game. The ones this year were really, really, really cool, as they always are. You will see those kind of throughout our sets here, because I really like the Artist Series. I legitimately think it's one of the coolest things in board games. I love board game art, and I love seeing different takes on games that I love. And so make sure to check out the Board Game Geek store and the Artist Series. It's always awesome.
So those are a little bit of Board Game Geek newsicles for you. So what we're going to do is talk about the hottest games, what's been crowdfunding, what's been delivering, what have people been playing. Let's sit down and talk about it.
Alrighty, number 10 is going to be Cozy Stickerville. This was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres.
Yep.
Which is why you're going to see a couple games here that are our Spiel games nominees. Morty Sortie Magic Shop was also probably would have been 11 on this list. It would pop in the hotness there, but Cozy Stickerville was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres.
Absolutely. So one thing that's really cool is that BGG Spring every year they have the Spiel, the very Spiel nominees, the Kenner Spiel, Kinder Spiel, and the Spiel des Jahres. It's the kids game, the strategic game, and the kind of just general game of the year, available for play. So it's no surprise you see these things pop up on the hotness, because they were nominated, but then a lot of people had a chance to play them at BGG Spring. So Cozy Stickerville is a really fun family game where you are going to be going through 10 games, 10 kind of years through this town where you're going to be placing stickers onto this shared board that are going to be, buildings that you're constructing and different things you're exploring. You might find a copse of woods, and you go and explore those woods, and you get some resources and things. So you're going to be stickering stuff, stickering over things as the story kind of progresses and changes. This is one that I've really enjoyed playing with my daughter.
So you've been playing with Logan,
She just turned 4 and stuff, and so
love stickers.
This is, what kid doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Stickers are awesome.
All adults love stickers too.
100%. They are very cool. And so that's a good hook for a game
Yes.
because Logan loves the sticker part. I can then read her the story. And it's very much a choose your own adventure kind of situation where you're going to be presented with different options of how to react to this bit of story that's coming out. And they're all things that everyone can understand. I say like, hey, do you want to go and explore this lake or do you want to go over here and build this thing? I'll let Logan make the decision. We will then go to a new part of the story, get some new stickers as we are, again, populating the board with all of these things we've been discovering and building throughout this 10-game session. It's really, really fun. Kind of has like Stardew Valley. Again, it's in the name, cozy vibes to it. But it's really fun to kind of have the stickers and then have the stickers then get decorated with other stickers and things as the game kind of evolves. Next up is going to be Seti.
We played this at BGG Spring.
We did.
We were a 4-player game of this,
Played a big old 4-player game with the expansion. A buddy of ours had loved Seti and hadn't had a chance to try the expansion.
And as you talked about in the news part, it won Best Expansion, which you said you agree with. I also very much agree with.
It's a great one. This is a game where you are exploring our solar system, looking for traces of life, and you're going to be finding aliens. You're going to be, that are going to kind of change the game midway through. You're going to have this discovery of like which alien species. There will be 2 of them in a game. Which alien species do we have, and what kind of opportunities they create. They all have a little bit of difference to them and stuff, and ways that you can score points and continue to make further discoveries. The expansion is awesome. It adds 3 new alien races already. That's huge.
Already huge.
Because now you have 8, and you're only going to use 2 in a game, so there's a lot of variety there.
Yeah, but you can play 4 games with different aliens, right? It's
which
a big
is
deal.
fantastic. There are you each have a company now, so you have a little bit of a power and ability. Most of the time, it's a once per round ability. You had one that was sort of like conditional in
and I
terms
could
of when you could refresh your
actions. I could reset it. It basically made some of the main actions cheaper. But then if they were all linked to one of the 3 kinds of life you can explore.
The traces of life you can
The trace of
find.
life. So if I did if I got a pink trace of light, I got to flip that one back over.
Right.
So to me, it wasn't once per round, but it was hard to get them flipped back over. So I wasn't able to do it too much.
Yeah, so I had one where it was, one of the main actions you can do to find the blue traces of life, you can basically run this big computer, and it normally takes an energy to do, so I could do that action without spending the energy. That was huge. A perpetual thing. And then I had the ability to swap out cards from my hand with cards that were in the kind of market, the display, once per round. So I had a little bit more flexibility with my cards and stuff. So they all give you, a little bit of something to chew on. There's also kind of a quick start where you skip the first round of the game and you get these 2, you choose 2 cards from a hand of cards that are going to give you, kind of your starting resources. They might start you off where, I think I started off, I was already orbiting Venus or something like that. So you kind of start with a couple things out on the map. Which would simulate what you might have been doing in that first round. I really like that. So this is a game that has been popular from the jump. It's already in the top 100 of all time. Right. It's not going anywhere. I imagine they'll keep supporting it with expansions and things, or certainly I hope they do. But it's great. Next up is going to be War of the Dragon, the Wheel of Time.
Someday I'll read the Wheel of Time. It's so long.
Isn't it like 20 books long?
They're big books too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the author Robert Jordan didn't make it.
No, didn't make it through. That's how long it was.
That's a long time. Someday I'll read them. I would like to.
Shouts out, was Brandon Sanderson?
Yeah, he finished it up.
So that's nice. But this is the first board game that's going to be set in the Wheel of Time universe, which is sort of, surprising.
There's been TV shows, there's been other stuff. It's interesting.
So this is going to be, a big old 2 to 4 hour epic game where you're, fighting against evil, or perhaps trying to be the evil, and having this kind of big war for the world. There's very little information about this. It is basically, the description says like, it's a game based on Wheel of Time, and there's the various characters and things, right. and kind of the cover. So more to be discovered, but this is a really cool universe. I haven't read the books, but I've watched most of the show to this point, so I have at least a sense of things, and it is really cool. There's really, it's a world-spanning series. There's all sorts of different characters and things, magic and all that. And I imagine it'll make for a pretty epic game. Right? It has area-controlled tableau building, so I'm curious what that's going to bring. We will have to wait to find out more. Next up is going to be Stone
I like this
Saga.
cover. It's kind of got a Revive-ish
It does.
cover where it's got like the dark kind of ring and then something bright in the middle. But I really love that blue. It's just a nice icy blue.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a really compelling cover.
Yeah.
This, I believe, has been delivering to people from
Yes.
crowdfunding. This is a cooperative...
It's like survival-y.
strategic survival game, which I'm always intrigued
Me
by those
too.
kinds of games. That makes me always think of like Robinson Crusoe, Paleo,
Right.
A game where you're trying to survive, and it has a really, from what I've heard, like cool like crafting discovery system. So
if you, especially in things like survival video games, crafting is always a big part of it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times in these kinds of games, they throw crafting in there too. And I like the crafting part of video games and board games.
yeah, what's kind of cool is it kind of adds like the discovery element, which I think also kind of feels realistic, where
Right.
the example they cite is like, hey, you have a stick and like a pointy rock. Could you maybe put those two things together to make
Right.
a spear? And then you can basically test that
Right.
in the game. And I don't know if that comes through like cards being combined, like Turing machine or something, but you can basically see like,
Right.
hey, if I put these two things together, does that make something useful for me? So there's a bit of like logic and things you can intuit, it seems. So I really like that. I think that's kind of cool, where you could hopefully potentially be rewarded for being clever. You're like, well, that would make sense. And that feels like a thought that could occur to me if I was in a survival
Right.
situation. And so that is something that seems really kind of cool. Like you're trying to survive, and from game to game, this kind of valley that you live in is going to be changing. Maybe you start agriculture or something, you start to be able to produce resources or make use of the land, but that's going to change it for the next game. But it's
Right.
not a campaign in the way where you really have to have been in the game one and game two and stuff, and you have to have the same people. This is meant to be a little more open and free, where people could drop in and out. You could play with the same people. You could have a rotating cast of people. I think it's going to be a situation where it's like, hey, what happened in the last game is going to change the game state, a bit for this game, but it's not going to be something where you need to remember all this story for the game to make sense anymore, which I think is kind of cool. So it kind of reminds me of like Oath, where it's like a game with a memory almost.
Right.
So it's something that, the cover and everything, the kind of crafting system makes me want to try this one out.
Yeah. Next up would be Lord of the Rings: The Fate of the Fellowship. Kind of like Seti, it's here every month. It's like smackly in the middle, like every single month. I mean, it's kind
Just
of
won the Golden
crazy.
Geek for cooperative games, so
It
clearly
did just
people
win
like
that.
it.
Yeah, I mean, this game is so popular, and I love this game, so this is no shade, but this is the kind of Lord of the Rings Pandemic. It's a pandemic system game, so it's definitely shades of the various pandemics. It's kind of like a pandemic greatest hits, to be completely honest.
Feels like it. There's kind of elements from other pandemic
Kind of
games
in
sort
this
of
one.
baked into this one.
It's just so fun. There's always like people blinging this game out, people doing like 3D printed stuff for this game. This is a game that people are very passionate about, so they're very actively making the game cooler and better kind of as they play it. But this is a game where you are a cooperative game where you are trying to destroy the ring, on top of completing 3 other objectives that are kind of randomly chosen every game. Those objectives are going to make you kind of do different stuff in the game. It's one of the reasons why I think this game is so replayable, is because of the fact that like you're always going to have to destroy the ring, and then you have 3 other kind of objectives, 3 other things you're trying to do, 3 missions. But there's like 30 in the game.
There's a huge
A
stack.
ton of them. And some of them will require you to play as like certain characters. You're doing something with like the Mirror Galadriel, you got to play as Galadriel. She's got to be one of the characters. Something if you're going to like the Stone of Eric and stuff like that, you have to play as Aragorn as one of the characters. So you have these things where sometimes it kind of forces you into certain areas. But other times you're like, oh, now this part of the map is like really important because we have this particular objective for this one. And then the shadow armies work a lot like they do in Fall of Rome, where they're kind of like going along these like predetermined pathways, and every game, those kind of paths, what path is going to be used a lot differs from game to game, kind of like Pandemic, where the same cities keep coming up over and over and over again.
How that kind of deck gets seeded at the beginning will
because every time you're going to have to put them back on top of the deck and reshuffle that part, and so the same things keep coming up. So sometimes like this super highway in this game is just non-stop
All of a sudden we
getting
got people at the
battered.
shatter.
And next game, no one's ever walking down there. So that alone, it's one of the reasons why Pandemic I think is so playable, because every time the puzzle is different. And this one's just kind of like that on steroids. Yeah. I love this game. I just love it so much. It's one of the few games that like I actively want to bling out, and I'm not really like I want to bling my games out kind of person.
Yeah.
I just love this game so much.
Agreed. Next up is going to be Earthborn Trailblazers.
Earthborn Trailblazers.
This is a follow-up to Earthborn Rangers, which was very successful in its own right, and Earthborn Trailblazers is on crowdfunding as of this recording, and doing very well for itself. So this is sort of a follow-up to Earthborn Rangers. This is a cooperative game where in Earthborn Rangers you were sort of contained to, I think, kind of protecting this forest.
Right.
You know, and that was where your story was, and now we're venturing out into the wider world. So it sort of feels
the Portland Trailblazers.
There you go, trying to, you know.
I mean, they're looking good.
They're looking good.
They had good. They made the playoffs.
They got a bright future.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what this game is about. So you can picture.
I mean, they beat Spurs one game. You know.
They did.
The NBA Finals are happening right now, so they're on the brain.
Basketball on the brain.
They're on the brain.
Remember the time Scottie Pippen was a Trailblazer?
He was.
That's still wild to me.
That was the Jailblazers.
Yeah.
That was when everyone was like going. Yeah, that was a rough time.
Anyway, the point is, Earthborn Trailblazers is a game where you are working together, kind of protecting the land. You are these rangers and stuff, and like, I can't quite describe how the art hits for me, but it's very appealing.
Does it feel very?
It feels like
it feels really grounded.
It feels almost like when in school we would, back in the day, we would cover our books, our school books. We would protect them. I have no idea if that's still a trend,
right?
But if you were a very middle class family like us, we did it with paper bags from the grocery store.
Let's be honest.
That you could then decorate.
We were a little under middle class, but yes,
they could then decorate. We didn't have the cool branded.
No,
ones.
we sure didn't.
And like the kind of background has a similar brown to it, and so it feels very like.
Oh man, you're taking me back. I forgot about that.
I know, and we would always decorate them and stuff, and it just, I don't know, something about the art like harkens back to like, I picture the artist being someone who would do that on just paper bags and things they had around, and I don't know, it hits me in a nostalgia way.
That's so interesting.
That is very appealing. I'm sure the art has nothing to do with that, but it's what it always makes me think of is paper bag brown. And
that's a specific color. You know?
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's a really appealing art game and stuff. I've heard so many good things about Earthborn
really want to
Rangers.
Play Rangers and now this as well. We haven't had a chance, so I really want to.
There's some people that's like, it's their favorite game. I've heard so much praise for that game that then continuing on and expanding the world, it just seems like a no-brainer. And so Earthborn Trailblazers is kind of continuing that on. I'm sure that they are continuing to spruce up the mechanisms and everything. So, Earthborn Rangers being such a success to me makes sense that it's automatically being super successful as well. And I hope to get to try both of these games.
Next up is going to be DNUP.
DNUP, down up.
Down up.
DNUP.
I thought it was a
flip
mistake.
it.
Yeah.
Still says down up.
It still says DNUP.
That's what's fun. This is a small card game by the same designer as Scout.
Yeah.
It also has cards flipping over.
I love that. It's one of my reasons why I've always loved Scout.
Yeah.
I like games where, you're flipping stuff over. It's just interesting to me.
So now you're going to be dealt a hand of cards, and they are going to have different numbers on the top and bottom, so very Scout in that way. However, big difference, you can rearrange your hand now. That is fine.
It's not like that.
And you are going to be playing sets of cards of the same value, so, 3 5s or whatever, down to the table and trying to ultimately get rid of your hand, but you can, play over someone else's play. If you play something stronger, they're going to have to take their cards back and flip them over.
Yes.
And this is not a voluntary thing. So there's this interesting thing of like, I want to play these out. Maybe I want to lose this because I actually want these to flip over passively. You can spend a turn to flip over, I think, your whole hand or something like that. So you're trying to get things flipped in the right way to be able to play these strong hands and get rid of your cards. Another thing that's kind of cool that's different is if someone played, like, again, 2 5s, for example, and I had a 5, I can add on to what they played. I think the next player then has to play something lower. So there's like different ways that the rules shift in terms of what you can play and then what cards come back. But the whole kind of thing hinges on when you get cards back, they must flip and then come back into your hand. But you're not limited in how you arrange your hand, kind of like Scout. So it seems like borrowing a little bit from Scout and then going in a really interesting, fun new direction.
Yeah, I really like card shedding games. Like, I'm constantly on the fence. Do I like trick takers or card shedding games more? They're pretty equal to me, but I love card shedding games. I love ladder climbing games. And I really like that card. We played Panda Spin as well, which is another game where you flip
This also
cards.
makes me think about Panda Spin, where...
So I really like games where you're flipping those cards. I just think it's interesting. But yeah, that's so interesting. This one where it's like when you get beat, you have to take your cards back, but you have to flip them when you do so. Which again, sometimes you're like, oh, I'm gonna put these like 2-1s out there because them being on the other side is actually way better than this.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you're putting out there hoping to get beat so that you can flip your things over. I thought that was great. I was like, just a little twist on a card shedding game, and I'm like, perfect, give it to me, thank you, bye.
Totally agree.
Next up is going to be World Order. World Order is the spiritual successor to Hegemony, lead your class to victory, and World Order, which is lead your country to victory. Yeah. So you're going to be playing as one of the world powers like Russia, China, United States, and Guatemala, actually.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Let's just throw in Guatemala.
Why not us?
Shouts out Guatemala. Let's go.
Shouts out, dude.
You're playing as one of the kind of major powers. And yeah, you're basically trying to, kind of like in Hegemony, where you're playing as one of the classes, like the capitalist class, the upper class, that kind of stuff. You're basically, you want your country to do the best. So you're putting out policies, you're doing these things, trying to make sure that these things are going to benefit you and maybe benefit other people. You can kind of do that. We're like, hey, I'm going to help you out a little bit. Like the capitalist classes like that. It's like, hey, I'm going to help you out. But like ultimately, this is for my game.
Jobs.
I'm giving you jobs. Come on.
You want to get money, right?
And so it's kind of like that. It seems really, really interesting. We played Hegemony somewhat recently and loved it.
Great game.
I wasn't expecting to like it anywhere, really. Definitely not as much as I did.
Yeah.
So it made me even more excited for World Order, excited. And there's been a couple of our friends who this is not their kind of game, and they really, really like this game. So I'm just like, that's like the biggest endorsement ever from them too. They're like, we don't like these kinds of games. And I loved this game. We're like, really? You too?
Really?
Okay, that's interesting. And so now I'm really excited to play it. I mean, again, like Hegemony is like a masterpiece. And so you're like, anything that comes out from the same people, you're like, well, I'm going to try it.
Absolutely. Next
Back
up
in the Spiel.
In the Spiel world. Yeah. Again, thanks to BGG Spring for having these games available. This is Rebirth.
Yeah.
This is one of the
Good Doctor.
Kenner Spiel nominees.
Kenner, yeah. So the Kenner Spiel are more strategy games. Spiel's Yard is kind of family games, and then Kinder Spiel is the child games.
Yeah, so this is
one of the Kenners,
like you said, a game from Rainer Konieczka.
The Good Doctor, man.
The Good Doctor, man. And this is a game where you are, like a lot of Rainer Konieczka games, on its face, very simple rule set. You're basically just putting out a piece onto these different regions. I think it's Scotland is the...
I believe so, yeah.
But sort of like future, past. It's a weird, world, the setting. The theme is obviously...
gorgeous, though, yeah.
Very heavy, as is typical with Konieczka games.
As typical with the Good Doctor.
But yeah, very beautiful board and stuff. But you're putting these pieces out, and you're basically trying to have dominance over these different regions and
very
things.
Interactive.
Very much so, because you're trying to cut people off. There are certain features that you're trying to surround with the most pieces to kind of take control of these castles and things. But it's a game we played once when it was crowdfunding a while back. We played a prototype of it. I'd love to play the finished product. Really nice production. But it's like, I don't know, Konieczka just has that magical brain for games that's just like, hey, we're going to get you up and playing in like 3 minutes max.
Right.
And you can play it on that base level of just like putting pieces out and sort of discovering what things are, as you play, you will realize like, oh, I shouldn't have played there because they blocked me. I should have gone over here. Right. And then you'll start to discover those deeper strategies and realize like you can set yourself up in this game. Like it is not as simple as it seems. And I just love that kind of like easy access. You can get into this really quickly, but then there's a depth there that will keep you playing. And with Rebirth, I think there's 2 sides to the map. So there's going to be different maps. I imagine they would make more maps and stuff in the future that change things up a little bit. But yeah, I'm never not amazed by Konieczka's ability to create games like that that are just really simple, but they're deeper than you think.
Number 1 here is going to be another game that's up for the Kenner Spiel. This is going to be Moon Colony Bloodbath. Yeah. This is another game up for the Kenner Spiel.
It's been in Hotness a few different times. When it first got announced, when it first came out, and now it's in award contention, and we're back.
Yeah, I got this weird hunch it's going to win the Kenner. I don't know why. I have no inside information. Don't get us wrong, but I got this weird hunch that this is going to win.
It was nominated for Innovative Game for the Golden Geeks and stuff, and I feel like
it's fun. I really like this game. We played this at BGG Spring, and we played it a number of times, though. And
it's awesome, man.
I just love it. I love the campiness of the theme. It's called Moon Colony Bloodbath. It's a silly theme. It's not a serious game at all. That would not be a fun game if it was serious. But this is basically a tableau building game where you are on a moon colony. You're each kind of building out your little part of the moon colony. But bad things are going to happen. They're going to be happening all the time, but in the beginning, they're not that bad. About halfway through the game,
life's pretty good at the start.
They start ramping up so hard, which is one of the reasons why I really like Moon Colony Bloodbath, because I feel like a lot of these games where it's like, hey, just bad stuff's happening to you the whole time, it's kind of happening right away. Whereas Moon Colony Bloodbath is nice is because you get to build up your engine and play with it a little bit, and then it starts getting torn down. And that little bit of time of build up and actually getting to play with the engine is really important, at least to me. But it's fun. So this game's all about having population. You can add little population chits, but as you're putting out these building cards, they will also give you population. And then basically the game is going to revolve around this ever-growing deck of cards. In that deck, there's going to be 4 work cards, which are basically being, when one of those comes up, you can choose one of the 5 actions to do, which can be like getting some food, playing one of the buildings, drawing some cards, getting money, that kind of stuff. But then all the other cards are going to be mostly bad stuff. There are going to be various events that are getting added to the deck. As people play certain cards, you might have to add certain cards to the deck. They're almost always bad. Multiple times a game, there's going to be robots coming to the deck. They sometimes will do stuff good, do good things for you, but they will always kill a certain amount of people.
Without fail, they are killer robots.
Yes. But
so
sometimes
they might
they're
also do good stuff, but oftentimes they kill people and do bad stuff.
Yeah, so they're just really rough. And so this deck throughout the game is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And those 4 work cards that allow you to like do stuff are getting more and more diluted. And you're just, again, you get about you get a couple rounds in the game and you're kind of like, I've only lost a couple people. I've got them back plus some. I'm doing great. And then the deck, your whole thing just starts getting ripped down. Yeah. And it's really fun. Because you get to play with it, and it's just so silly. The concept of the game, Moon Colony Bloodbath, the name alone, don't tell me names don't matter in games and themes don't matter in games. Yes, they do.
Yes.
This game I would play just because of the theme.
100%.
It's really, really fun. I really enjoy it. I think it's a good choice for Kenner. It's in that good weight range that the Kenner spiel likes to do. And I hope it wins. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just it's a good time. It's almost completely simultaneous, so like the game keeps moving, which I think in a game where like things are going to get torn down and everyone's going to be left in ruin, keep it moving. Let's not have it take too long. Like a game will last maybe an hour.
Oh God, maybe.
And that's great, honestly, for it. I think I've heard like there's an expansion coming.
There has to be.
I'm just excited for more stuff. I'm like, just bring me more carnage.
Bring me more carnage, yeah.
Bring it on, man. I'm down. So I'm with you. I hope it wins.
Yeah.
We'll see, but it's a fun time.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
So that's the hotness. At the end of the hotness, we always talk about the most played games of the month. So these are games that people have logged on BGG. So make sure to log your plays. You can link up your BG Stats app, your Board Game Arena, all that stuff to BGG, so it automatically does it and stuff. It's very, very cool.
Super easy. Yeah, it's nice.
So something I think that's going to probably stay here is a new release, and this is The Gang.
Oh,
because The Gang is a new release on BGA, and I'm like, oh, that's a very good BGA game.
Yep.
The Gang, which has 7,626 plays.
Nice.
Toy Battle has 7,864. Again, won 2-player game of the year. Respect that. Wingspan, which has 8,179 plays. Nice. Harmonies has 8,337 plays. Castle Combo has 8,625 plays. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, trick-taking game, has 8,936. I'm curious, where is... Okay, so it's a decent amount farther down, because I was like, where's the Two Towers? I wonder when that switch is going to start happening.
Yeah, because now the Two Towers trick-taking game is also out. But,
it has been out for a while now.
Yeah, that's
that one's at 4,078.
Okay, so it's on its way.
It's on its way, yeah. I don't know if it'll ever overtake Fellowship of the Ring, but I was like, I wonder if it's even on here. It is. Arc Nova is number 4, which has 10,185. Take Time, which I really thought was going to get nominated for the spiel, and it wasn't. That was my early call.
Very surprised by that, yeah. But
Take Time is 10,691. Bomb Busters, last year's Spiel des Jahres winners, has 13,160, and of course, Flip 7, as always, is number 1 with 13,576. So it doesn't have a ton more than Bomb Busters. Usually it's like 5,000 above everything else.
Get ready, because Flip 7 with a Vengeance is an alpha on BGA.
Oh, is it
so
really?
when that comes out fully, then we're going to double the Flip 7.
Flip 7.
I got to think, right? I got to think. Those are the most played games of the month. And we're tired from having talking about that, so we're gonna have to recoup. And while we do it, you're gonna watch an ad.
My Murph pick is going to be something that happens after every BGG spring and every BGG fall. Is Aldi, who owns BGG, always puts out the stats for the library, which I just think is really, really fun to look and see what got checked out at the convention, because of course everything is checked out with little boopers, scanners, and so they can track all of that. So it's really, really fun to kind of look through and see like, oh, one person checked out this game. I wonder who that one person was. But the top one with 82 checkouts was Flamecraft Duel. I was shocked. I never thought it'd be that. I guess it's pretty quick. You can play it. It's got a great look. BGG Spring is also the convention where people can bring their children, so you can play that with younger people as well. I was shocked that was number one. Number two was Hot Streak with 80. That makes sense. Like, that's a very good convention game, very easy to teach, very easy to play, makes sense. And then the next one down, which is, each of those had 82 and then 80 checkouts. Next one down, 50, was T-Witches, which I was very surprised about. That was a kind of a big game from the OP last year. It's like a big kind of like 2-hour game, very odd for the OP, but it's also got Sandara art. Really, really good, but I was very shocked that that was number 3. But it's really, really fun to kind of go through this list. And it's also fun if you're at these cons to look at games that you checked out, because I, at one point, checked out Quadropolis and played it with people, and I was like, I bet you I'm the only one who checked out Quadropolis. I wasn't. One other person did. There's 2 checkouts of Quadropolis. I thought I was going to be so special. I wasn't. But now let's go through this list. I think it's really, really interesting to see this kind of data. I think it's fascinating to see what people are into at that time. It's just really, really cool.
Here's the cool thing about cruising around on BoardGameGeek is you're gonna see awesome things. One thing that we talk about a lot is the hot images area of BoardGameGeek. And as I was scrolling around through the main page, I saw a picture of a miniature from Marvel United, this miniature, and I was like, that looks familiar. I've seen Red Skull with the object source lighting of the cube. I was like, that looks like what Nick painted. And I look at Nick and be like, is this your picture? He's just like, yeah, it's doing pretty good. And so I just wanted to show off this thing.
I want to be clear. I did not tell him to do this. And I actively told him to not do this and pick something else. I just want to make that very clear.
I appreciate the $5 and the free lunch. Okay?
I did not ask him to do this.
Nick didn't ask me to do that, but I thought it was really cool because A, I think he's a really good painter. I love what he's been doing with this Marvel United stuff. He uses that object source lighting a lot. And it's just a fun thing about BoardGameGeek is if you post a picture of something, if it resonates with people, they're going to thumb it up and comment on it, and it might show up in the hot images area. So this was not a planned thing, but I was scrolling through, I'm like, wait a second, I know that Red Skull. And I thought that was kind of cool, so I just wanted to show off Nick's painting.
Alrighty, so at the end of the video here, we always pick a personal favorite game. Now, it was hard to decide because we had BGG Spring this month, so we played more games than we usually do. Yeah. And so what is going to be your best of the month, Mikey?
My best of the month is actually going to be something that I've wanted to play for a long time and playing a bit at home. This is Arkham Horror, the card game.
Oh, yes. Well, you've been really into it, yeah.
Yeah, man. This is obviously a game that's well loved by many, many people. I've always heard really good things about it. You know, in the past, we've played like Lord of the Rings, the card game. I played a little bit of Marvel Champions. And this is another one of the LCGs in that kind of line of games and stuff. And this one, you're going through different stories, playing a detective, dealing with the occult and whatnot, and you know, just great beings of ungodly horror.
That's true.
And things like that. And you are, you know, playing cards to take actions. You're putting characters and items and things kind of as assets for you to help you in skill checks. You're going to be, you know, investigating locations you're at, getting bits of story, trying to progress your part of the story while bad things are sort of happening and the agenda is progressing forward and trying to get to positive outcomes over negative outcomes. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the card play. You can discard cards to kind of boost your chances at succeeding in a skill check, but you're pulling from this chaos bag, which could have like a crit failure in it and stuff, or they could have other gnarly things that happen. Super duper fun. I'm just at the beginning with the core box and stuff, so I'm not, you know, haven't explored a ton, but I'm really liking it. I totally get why it's so popular.
Right, yeah, exactly. Because we played Lord of the Rings, the card game, back in the day. And yeah, I've heard really, really good things. So I'll probably, when you're done soloing it, I'll probably mess around with it as well.
I'd recommend
My favorite is going to be a game called Frosted Blooms. They actually just did a
game
night about Frosted Blooms about it. Go watch that if you want to go see more. But it's really, really great polygonal tile laying game where on these tiles there's going to be a certain amount of these flower blooms on them, and then water spaces, and then basically you're going to put them in your kind of ever-growing tableau of polygonal tiles, and you're always be playing a scoring card. That might be like, in the one you put down, what your biggest group of like white flowers is, you'll score 2 points per white flower, something like that. Yep. They're always gonna be scoring the biggest water area connected to where you just put that tile, or one or maybe multiple of the colors of flowers. But the cool thing is you're also trying to make gaps, which is slightly different in most polygonal games. Most polygonal games, you're trying to keep it as tight together. Yeah. This one you actively want gaps, because if you make gaps, depending on the size and shape of that gap, you'll get to put in these various like buildings or workers, stuff like that, and they're gonna score you more and more points. And it's tough because in any polyomino game, I want to fill in the gaps.
Of course.
So it breaks my brain trying to be like, oh no, I want to leave this spot. I need like a hooking one to hook around this, so I have like a 4 spot, so I can put this big windmill in there. It's really, really tough, but I really liked it. It's just one of those simple polyomino tile laying games. I just am so charmed by these kinds of games. Yeah. I love the look. It's got like kind of like sparkly stuff all over it and stuff.
It's really, really good. Nicely produced game.
I liked it a lot. We played a lot of really great games. It was tough to choose, but I really, really enjoyed Frosted Blooms.
Boom. So those are our personal picks. Those are the hottest games of the month, and on and on. Let us know what you have been playing in the comments below. From the hotness, what game caught your interest the most? Let us know that as well, and we will see y'all next month.
Bye, everybody.